You don't need another strategy. Here's what you actually need to figure out why you can't implement the things that you already know. I'm Dr. Brooklyn Storm, former psychologist, now business coach, and I help women just like us to build profitable private practices, usually in under 12 months. Being neurodivergent means I see the patterns that other coaches miss, but it also means I'm a truth teller, so I'm not interested in giving you any business advice that sounds good or might be trending, but doesn't actually work for us. Welcome to the Practice Momentum podcast, where we're going to get your private practice sorted out. Thanks so much for being here, and let's get on with the next episode. Welcome back to the show. Just a quick heads up. Buddy, my little one, he's just about to wake up, and so I'm sure any minute he's going to jump off his bed and he's going to start shaking and rattling around. So if you hear any background noise, that's all it is. But yes, as I was saying, welcome back to the show. So I had recorded a different episode for you that I was going to release yesterday, but something exciting happened. So I decided I'll just release that one on Saturday, and I'll record this one for you today instead. And guess what? I created something that I am just so excited about, because I never, ever saw myself as somebody who would be able to do things like this. But I made us a Google Chrome extension, and I know that probably sounds pretty boring to some of you, but to me, for some reason, it's super exciting. And I want to share with you a little bit about why and how, because I want you to see what you can do for your private practice as well. Because, so many people that I speak to are saying, I want to scale back from so many one-to-ones, or they're saying, I want to have additional revenue sources coming into my practice, all these kinds of things. And so this is just one example of how you can do that. And the reason that I feel, even though it might be really boring for some of you, I'm sure there are some of you that are going to get inspired. And I want you to realize that we live in a very different time now. Times are changing, and you don't have to just rely on the work that you're doing in sessions with clients to bring revenue into the business. And you know what? It doesn't have to make you $1 million. Like my little Chrome extension is never going to make me $1 million, but it is helping people, which is my biggest thing, right? I really believe that I was put on this earth to, learn things and share them. And that's why I really love being a business coach. And I really love helping my clients that I work with think outside the square, right? It's probably my neurodivergence. I get lots of ideas. If you're neurodivergent, you probably do too. But it's just in the past, I never let myself unpack them and follow them through. And it's only been the last few months, really, that I've just decided to go with it. And I'm inventing things left, right, and center. I've never been happier. And this is just one way that I'm working with my ADHD and the autism in my business that is not taking away from what I'm doing with my clients. It's actually enhancing service, right? Because I'm now able to give them innovative things that feel really good, because I know that they're going to get them a result. So, the way that this one came about, I'm just going to speak into it now. So the way that this one came about is it's for SEO, right? So it's a Chrome extension. I'll put the link in the show notes below. So when you get to the office this morning, you might want to hit pause, scroll down, you can go and see it. But I still can't believe it's happened. It's not even been 24 hours. Yeah, I'm so excited. But so I've been doing a bunch of website wellness checks, as you know. And apart from that, I'm working with lots of women in private practice at the moment for things like their visibility. They don't really love marketing. They're not sure about SEO. It feels really techie. They give it a go, right? It's not that they're lazy or anything like that. They're not. The women that I work with definitely, roll up their sleeves, most of them. And they do give things a go, but it's hard to do things like SEO when you don't really know what it is and you don't really know what you're meant to be doing. And then you feel conflicted as well, because, if you do know a little bit about it, it doesn't feel right to be writing, headings that are stuffed with SEO keywords, because it really does take away from our relationship building, right, with our clients, and things feel a little bit, almost cold and really kind of marketing-y. And so that gets in the way for so many therapists as well, because they just want to be able to write on their websites in a way that feels true and genuine and authentic for them, right? So it often can happen at the expense of their websites getting found. It's kind of like similar in a way to practices that don't want a niche. I don't think you can get away with not niching now, not now that there's AI on the scene. The whole reason, one of the ways that is very significant to us in private practice that AI works in terms of recommending your particular practice to people who might be looking for the services that you offer is by what you're known for. And you can't be known for anything if you're saying that you work with all ages, with all the modalities across the lifespan and beyond, and this, that, and the other, and you're just so general. And, I understand there are some people who are very afraid to niche, or there are some people that have tried niching and maybe it didn't work out for them. They're not sure why, and they're blaming it on the niche when really it was because they weren't actively marketing their business, for example, things like that. But it can all feel really big and hard and overwhelming. And when I'm doing my website wellness checks for people, I could see really clearly straight away, even if somebody's got a lovely website, it's beautifully designed and it's saying all the right things, it's not going to be showing up. And they're confused about why. I can see straight away it's the SEO, and then I can go and have a bit of a poke around online and I can see they're also not showing up in the AI recommendations. So I knew I wanted to not sort it out for them. Like I'm not a what's the word? Like I don't have that. I'm not a magical wizard. I don't have all of the answers, but I can certainly give you things that can work. And so I was just there one day and I just thought to myself, what would be really handy? This was while I was on a website wellness check. I was thinking to myself, what would be really handy would be a different way of not only me advising my clients, hey, we need to do something about the SEO and the AI discovery over here. And here are a few simple things that you can do. I knew that that's not going to be enough. And I knew that a lot of people I was recommending these sort of changes to, or, suggestions to, probably weren't going to be able to do them, right? Because yes, they are boring. Yes, it can feel overwhelming. Yes, they think that they need to know all the tech things. And so they avoid it, and they will go and change the images on their website, or they might change the fonts, or they might change the color and do the things that feel just, easier and lighter. Most of us have done that, right? Me too. Don't worry. So it's kind of been on my mind because I've been doing a lot of website wellness checks for people lately because I'm running a ad at the moment, whole other story. But so then I've got a tool that I made, and it's called, what did I call it? Programs to Passive. Yeah. And it's a tool that I made also because other clients that I'm working with, they want to do things like have courses or passive income and this, that, and the other, but they're not sure how to go about it, or they just go straight to making the course and they don't do any of the stuff that needs to be done before it or after it, and then it doesn't sell, and then they feel bad, and then they just go and make another course. So I wanted to simplify the whole process and show them, you can make the course, but first you need to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then once you've done the course, you need to do, L, M, N, O, P. And so now they've got like this roadmap, if you like, the steps. They've got all the steps. And I test everything. And so I just thought to myself, well, I don't need to go and invent something myself. I've got the inspiration. I guess I just need to really map it out. So I used that tool that I made for my clients. You can get it on my Etsy store as well if you like. I'll put the link in the show notes to that. And so I just used the tool that I made for them and pulled together this idea for the Google Chrome extension. And then I just kind of went and made it. And I really, when I was doing it, it was a mix of excitement, but also a mix of like just being scared out of my pants because I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And I was just doing it in my free time. And yeah, I was totally clueless, and I was just kind of learning on the fly, and it was a really big learning curve, and I made some mistakes. But at the same time, when you're in hyper focus, you get stuff done. And I just happened to be in hyper focus and I got it done. I got probably the bones of it were done in maybe 4 hours. And then I needed a break. I think it was the weekend or something. And then, yeah, for the next little while, I was just tweaking and playing around with things. And as you move through the different phases of development, like for example, one of the things that you have to do, of course, is create like a little logo or a little icon for it. And so initially I'd called it SEO My Gosh. So it was like just the letters SEOMG, and I thought that was really cute, and it was going to be like, oh my gosh, this actually works. That's what I was going with, and it was hot pink and black, and I thought it was like so cute, and I really, really loved it. And then as I moved further through the development process, I realized, oh, that's not going to work, and I probably do need to have something more serious. And anyway, maybe I need to have something a little bit more, professional. So anyway, I had to like make little changes like that along the way. And for me, it's those design things where I lose time. Playing around in Canva, it's a whole thing, right? You can lose a day in Canva very easily and come out the other side with one logo or one icon in my case. But that's just giving you an example. So the whole thing was kind of done in about half a day, but that was me working super fast because the hyper focus. And then it was probably about a week of moving forward along the development process. And I had no one showing me how to do this. I was just winging it completely, and that's why like I got things done in the wrong order. Like my images and icons, I probably shouldn't have done those as one of the first things, but of course, because I didn't know any better, I did. There were other things like that as well, just doing them in the wrong order, which then meant that I had to redo them because I didn't know what I was doing and all the things. But anyway, yeah, and then I submitted it, and honestly, I just kind of like, I was excited about the fact that I had done it, but I never really believed it would get published because I don't know, when I was growing up, I'm one of six. I'm the eldest of six children. And when I was growing up, we had a 2-story house in Frankston. If you know it, it's near Seaford in Victoria, down the Mornington Peninsula. It's near where I live now, Mornington-ish area. Anyway, so near the high school, near Frankston High, if you're familiar with the area. And so it was this two-story house, and all the bedrooms were upstairs with the bathroom, but my bedroom was downstairs near the lounge room or living room and the kitchen and the dining area. And I was listening in to my parents. I was, I think, 11 at the time. 10 or 11 years old at the time. No, I must have been 11. Yeah, because my dad was still there and he was gone just after I turned 12. So yeah, I was 11, and I was going to the bathroom, and then they had the middle door open for some reason, and I could hear them talking quite clearly, and I was, curious because I heard my name. So then, of course, my ears prick up, and what they said was, they were like, oh yes, well, this sister is going to be a pediatrician, so we should really focus on putting aside money and resources for her education, and this one over here is going to be a pilot, so we should put some money aside for theirs, and then this one's going to be a vet, so we should definitely put some money aside for theirs, and then this one we don't know, this one we don't know. And then they got to me and they were like, well, Brooklyn, she's not very bright, so I think the best that we can hope for with her is she will get married when she's 16, and she'll have a family and she'll have a few babies. I think the term was drop a few babies, which I had never heard that phrase before, but I since have. So she would drop a few babies and, maybe if she wants to work or something, she might go and work at Richie's supermarket and, and that'll be fulfilling for her. It was like my parents knew there was something not right with me, but they never figured out about the autism and the ADHD. I was just like the kid that didn't fit in. And they didn't see any potential in me. And it's like that experiment, I guess, of, well, it's been done so many times. The experiment of the rats, where they put the rats in the cages and they have rats in one cage, and then they have a bunch of rats in a second cage. And on each cage, the experimenters or the scientists put like a little sign. One cage said these rats are really, really smart. The other sign said these rats are not very smart at all. And then they got students in to work with the rats and make the rats go through a maze. And what do you think the results were? The students that were working with the rats that they believed were like really smart and had a lot of potential, they were all able to get their rats to go through the maze and do it really, really quickly and break records and stuff like that. The scientists, students that had the rats with the sign on the cage that said they weren't so smart, weren't so bright, they couldn't get one rat to go through the maze to save itself. Right? They ended up like having to time out the experiment because none of them could get a single rat through. It's like the rats were living up to the potential of the expectations that the trainers, the scientists had for them. And I think that's maybe what happened to me. I think maybe I was the rat, because for the longest time, I was like really angry and indignant about it, because I thought this isn't fair. Like, what if I want to have opportunities in my life too? And then the other part of me was like, okay, so I guess I'm just going to get married and have, like, I resigned myself to it, and I started to believe I wasn't smart and I couldn't do things. And I lived up to that expectation for the longest time. And yeah, so when it came to putting together this, for example, it made me really happy because my brain was inventing things and there was novelty and it was all very exciting and I got to be in hyperfocus and I was just loving it. And yes, submitting it was like super fun and super cool, but I didn't really believe that it was going to ever get accepted or published, because I didn't believe in myself that I was like good enough. Like, I just didn't believe like I was the type of person that publishes Google Chrome extensions. And I know this might sound weird to some of you, but I know others of you are probably nodding along going, yeah, the same thing happened to me. And, well, not with a Google Chrome extension perhaps, but with something else in your life, right? You had a go and you're really happy that you participated, but maybe you didn't believe that you would really win the race. And so when you won the race, you were like blown away. Yeah. So anyway, I just feel like since I've started being more of myself, and this is the thing, because the diagnosis for the ADHD and the autism came about in November the year before last. And then it was, for me, the journey was, all the emotional, oh my gosh, I can't believe all this stuff, and then the reflecting, and then the anger, and then the this. And it's like grief in some ways that you go through. Well, I did anyway. My experience was I went through all these emotions. I could have had a different life. I wasn't picked up. How come I had no support? How come I'm here at 52 years old and still can't get any support? Like, maybe support might still make a big difference for me, right? I'm often like messing things up because my brain doesn't work in a linear way. Like just yesterday, somebody sent me an email saying, Brooklyn, I'm trying to book this call with you, but the link in your email broken. You know what I mean? Anywho. And then I spent all that time last year trying to drop masks, and you only know what you know, right? You can't not experience the things if you don't know that they're there to be experienced. And so I thought through that process of dropping the mask, which is still a work in progress. I mean, we're undoing 52 years almost of training here, but lately it's been more stepping into the no, it's perfectly okay for you to, well, I was going to say stuff around, which is what my parents used to say to me, stop stuffing around. But who'd have ever thought that stuffing around would be my strength? That's how I see it now, because I can come up for my clients, for you, for my audience, for the people that I'm working with. I love coming up with solutions to problems, and my stuffing around results in new things that can really, really help them, like this. So, yeah, I've gone off on a tangent. I will come back to the extension. I was just going to say, like, if you had that experience too, where when you were growing up, you were told to stop doing something, blah, 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 I would just really invite you to think about, if I wanted to start stuffing around again, what would that look like? For me, it was inventing things, coming up with new ideas for things, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Not all of the things I come up with work, right? Some of them totally fail, but I don't just let it take me out and never come up with a new thing again. I'm just like, oh, that one didn't work. And then I just wait for inspiration and then I try again. Not everything's going to work. Don't expect everything to work. Just go into it thinking, I'm just really enjoying the process here of having a crack, like of having a go. And if it works, wouldn't that be cool? But if it doesn't, that's also cool because I got to spend time stuffing around. Okay, so I told you why I thought about making this particular extension. The reason that it was an extension rather than a Google Doc like I've done in the past, or a video training or a webinar or anything like that, masterclass, was because I wanted them to be able to do it themselves. I wanted it to be super convenient, super easy, stuff like that. And so then I was just brainstorming, and in my brainstorming I don't just do the surface stuff. Like I tell my clients, like, whenever you're brainstorming or journaling and you're writing, keep going and going and going and going and going until you run out of things. And that is when I want you to sit with it and really push, because that's where the gold is. I learned this when I was learning about manifesting, of all things. It was taught to me as everything's going to come rushing out onto the paper from your conscious awareness, right? So all the ideas that that are there, that are readily accessible, write them all out. Might take you 5, 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes if you've got lots, right? It doesn't matter, but you'll get to a point where you feel like there are no more things to write. And that is the gateway. When you hit that little fence there, when you hit that little gate, if you can push on, you then, I was taught, start bringing up stuff from your subconscious, and that is where the juice is. And so that's what happened here in terms of what I wanted it to look like. And anyway, so I was using that, and I was using my passive to program to passive, tool. And yeah, next thing you know, we've got Google Chrome extensions on the piece of paper, and I thought to myself, yeah, let's give that a go. I'm up for trying new things. So anyway, that's how it kind of all came about. Then it was a learning curve. So I'm really excited about it. And I told my community about it first, my community being the Therapist AI Resource Hub. So I told them about it first because I'd already been sharing with that community there that I was working on a super secret project, which was like super fun. So I told them about it first, and then I sent out an email this morning to everybody else just to let them know that I'd made it. But if you're thinking of making something, it doesn't matter if it's your free lead magnet, maybe it's the PDF freebie on your website, maybe it's your newsletter, maybe it's selling your sessions, registrations for your next workshop or signing up supervisees or something like that. It doesn't matter. But whenever you're creating something, one of the things that I can share with you that really lets you know whether or not something's going to work for you is it must solve a legitimate problem for somebody. This is why a lot of freebies don't get downloaded on therapy websites. The therapist will just go along and they'll just pull something together in Canva, or they will use a template, and they will just brand it and throw it up and then complain that nobody's downloading it. But the thing is, it's not solving a problem for your client. I see this a lot with therapists that put things like journals with journal prompts. I don't know that that's really solving anything for a client. I don't know that, doing journal prompts is really going to lead a client towards booking a session with you. It would have to be really powerful, impactful journaling that, resulted in some kind of realization that the person, I guess, sees that, yeah, okay, I've realized this thing now, and what do I do about it? Yeah, okay, this makes sense. I will go and speak to this counselor or psych or social worker. Or putting up affirmation cards. They're not a great lead magnet because they're not leading anywhere, right? But it's the same with selling things for money. They need to solve the problem. And so just to give you an example here, I know that when I start marketing, which I should have been doing a long time ago. It's just this is my first one and I didn't expect that it would ever get published, so I haven't marketed it. But for future ones, I will. And now I've got to do emergency marketing sort of after the fact, which is problematic for all kinds of reasons. It's kind of like opening up your practice and then marketing it and hoping that you've got clients instead of marketing it before you open it, so that when you do open it, you've got clients. That mistake. But anyway, so I just want to give you an example so you can see what I mean when I talk about whatever it is you're putting out there for your clients, free or paid, it must solve a problem for them. So in terms of the SEO tool that I created, what I did was I just wrote down a list. I had 2 columns on the page. One was for problems, one was for solutions. So the problem that I'm seeing and hearing when it comes to doing the SEO on their website and getting it visible and stuff like that was that they just didn't know where to start. And so this tool that I've made is a solution because it tells them exactly what's not working, what's going wrong, so that they do know where to start. They do know where the problems are. They're not going to spend time fluffing around with their images and their fonts because hoping that things are going to change, because this tool will say, well, it's not the images and the fonts, they're actually fine. What we need to do is add a heading in this section here, right? One of the other problems that my clients share with me is that when it comes to doing their SEO, it just feels so overwhelming. They've got to do the whole entire website themselves and it's just bigger than Ben-Hur. So this tool will only do it page by page and it gives them the information section by section, right? Great. Reduces the overwhelm right there. The other thing that I've noticed, they don't complain about this, but this is what I've noticed, is that they don't really have an idea of what SEO is or what it should look like. They don't know what good SEO is. And so for that reason, they're not able to do it, right? They just don't have the knowledge. It's not that they're unwilling. They know that it's a problem. They want to fix it, but they don't have any examples of what it should look like to follow. And so this tool gives them the exact SEO. They just copy and paste it. Easy. They don't have to worry about, is it good enough? Now they will just know that they've got the good enough. It is good enough. It's exactly what they need. The other thing that they told me, and that I've seen too, that's a problem, is that when they're using certain website builders, I'm not going to name any names, the SEO tool is actually quite basic, and it only does very, very basic level, and that's not enough for your page to be ranking or showing. So then you are scratching your head because you're like, oh, well, according to my website builder, it's, done, the SEO has been done, but my page still isn't showing. So maybe I do need to go and change my colors and fonts, and maybe I shouldn't have a niche anymore. So I'm just going to delete my niche and I'll open it up. Or, well, the SEO is fine and my colors and fonts are fine. So maybe it's cost of living and the interest rates are going up again. So I will lower my fees. Maybe that's it. And they just don't know. And so they go and make all these other changes, and it just like creates other problems that they didn't have before. So yeah, they've got this very generic, basic SEO, and it's just not doing the work that it needs to be doing. So this tool that I made gives them personalized or custom SEO for their website, for their niche, based on their clients, based on their messaging, all those kinds of things. And it also, where customization is required, it also includes for them a little copy and paste prompt. They can just copy and paste it into ChatGPT or Claude or whatever they're using, and then the AI will ask them a few questions so it can really customize and personalize it for them, and then the AI is going to give them the copy, and then they can just go and copy and paste that, boom, into the website. And now we've got deeper, higher level, more sophisticated SEO, and they didn't even have to think about it, right? Easy. The other thing is there are practices that have paid developers lots of money to build out websites, and the clients are saying to me it's not surfacing, like it's just not showing, and they don't know why. And then I'll have a look and I can see, yes, there's some SEO on there, but I can also see there's some missing. And then I can also see that their practice is not getting mentioned, it's not getting detected by AI. And this again is for a number of reasons, but one of the primary reasons is because a lot of the time it's just kind of a very generalist practice instead of a niche, like they're not known for something, which AI is never going to be able to refer you if you're not known for something, right? Doesn't work. So anyway, my tool solves that problem because it includes everything that therapist needs to have on her website so that it can be detected by AI, right? If she's got a niche. And then the other thing that I hear is that, I was going to pay somebody to do the SEO on my website and it was going to cost me, anywhere from hundreds to thousands to get it done. And I don't have that money at the moment because I don't have clients, and it's chicken or the egg, and they get caught up in circular logic. And so instead of getting the SEO done so they can get clients, they just try and fluff through it themselves and, get nowhere, and it's taking forever for them to get a client. So this tool solves a problem because it's just $7, right? And the other problem is that even after they've had the SEO done, like maybe, and this is really common, people will pay somebody to go and do the SEO on their website for them. And then I come along and I'm like, this doesn't look like it's been optimized yet. And then this is in a website wellness review, and I'll, share those thoughts, and then the customer will email me back and she will say, oh, well, that's not correct, Brooklyn, because I had the SEO done in 2023. I'm like, but you probably made changes since then. They'll go, yeah, I have. I've changed my niche and I changed my branding, I've got a new logo, I've got, yeah, so you haven't updated the SEO, so it's not working. Anytime you make a change on your website, you have to update the SEO. Even if you're adding a blog, you got to update your SEO, right? So for that reason, this is a monthly tool that they can have. They just pay $7 a month, and then anytime they go make a change on their website, or they go and update a blog post, for example, or something like that, they can just click the button and they can optimize it in like just a minute or two. Super fast, super easy. That $7, I mean, if it converts to one client and that client sees them, like in Australia, the average number of sessions a client will have with a therapist is between 10 and 20. So even if you say the lower end of the range, and even if you say, oh, I only charge, 150 a session, well, 10 appointments for that client multiplied by 150 is $1,500. So was it worth it for you to pay the $7 monthly fee if it's going to bring in $1,500? I would say yes. So I think it solves so many problems, and I think this is going to be like super duper popular. I'm not sure how long it's going to be $7 for, but I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. And I'm so excited because I know that this is really, truly, 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 truly going to improve their websites and overcome that really big challenge that they were all having with their visibility. It's so good. It's so good. Yeah, I'm really, 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 really excited. And then after I told my community last night, 2 people have messaged me saying, oh, this is so good. Like, can you make an extension for this or for that? Now, I don't want you to feel like you have to go and make a Google Chrome extension. What I'm sharing with you today is bigger than that, right? What I'm sharing with you today is more about the value of things that you were told at some point in your life had no value. Things like you're stuffing around, things like you're playing on the computer, that like this is just what I heard. You might have heard something different. Like maybe you heard you talk too much. Maybe you heard don't get involved, things like that. Keep your nose out of it. It's none of your business. But you were very able to be part of group conversations and really attuned to what was going on, and without editing, you just got kind of like share your 5 cents, but nobody wants to hear it because, they're not ready. And then they'll come back to you later on and go, oh my gosh, you were right. That boyfriend, he was a total bum, they'll say things like that to you later on. But in the moment, it's like, keep your nose out of it. This has nothing to do with you. Like you've probably heard things like that. I want you to if you're neurodivergent or not, I want you to think about those times where, and maybe you didn't even realize it was a skill or a talent or a gift or whatever, but revisit those times that you were told repeatedly not to do something, because I really do think that for many of us, that can be just as much of a key for you to unlock what you want in your business, right? Whether it's seeing different types of clients, making different kinds of money, mixing it up a bit between one-to-one sessions and, making other things kind of like I do over here. It doesn't matter. But I think all those things that you were repeatedly told off for could unlock the key to some greatness for you, just as much as when you were getting recognized for being good, when you were being recognized for having, what I'm just going to call an acceptable talent. Like I was really good at ballet and calisthenics and dancing, and I used to win awards all over the place, right? And that was all fine. And those things were kind of acceptable. But me inventing things, not acceptable. Me playing on the computer, not acceptable. Me stuffing around, not acceptable. So there are 2 sides of the coin. And I believe that both sides of the coin equally can reveal talents and strengths and gifts for you. And you can use them within the business to help your clients, and you can use them within the business to help yourself, to give yourself more of what you need, right? So for me, there's a couple of things. Me personally, I don't want more one-to-one online Zooms and everything. That's why nearly all of my coaching is almost 100% appointment free. right? I run an appointment-free business coaching program. I've got a bunch of programs, barely any appointments in them. That works for me. The other thing that works for me is monthly recurring revenue. I love it. It gives me so much peace of mind. It means I don't have to be constantly on with marketing or pitching or selling or things like that. It means I've got money coming in. It just flows to me. And I can take a week off and go to Daylesford and not work, right? I can not see a client and still make more than enough money to pay my bills. So for me, things like that, putting structures in my business that give me the way of living that I want is very, very important. But I didn't have it until I started to work with the autism and the ADHD. I needed to, understand why I was struggling so much with things. And then when I got the diagnosis, I started to understand, oh, okay, I see. My brain's just not meant for the linear things. Like how many times I sat there in meetings and I had like ideas about things and I wanted to share the ideas, and other people got the promotion or other people were recognized for things. And even though my idea was better, it was because I struggle with follow through, right? And I didn't know that. I just thought I'm lazy, I'm underperforming, I'm not good enough, I'm this, I'm that. But being able to understand now, oh, well, it's because your brain works like this. Now I'm like, okay, I get it. How do I now build a business that's going to work for me around that, rather than me trying to jam myself into the business model of a neurotypical person? And it was really that's helped me, continue with the evolution of my own business. And I have no idea where this is going to go. I'm just so much happier marching to the beat of my own drum than I've ever been in my entire life. And I'm here for it all. Like I'm totally open for it all. And I just want you to hear about this because I know that maybe this is not even on your radar yet, or maybe some of you are just getting diagnosed and don't know what to do and all of this. I just want to show you what it's looking like for me. And I'm not the only one. When you start to tune into the things that feel really good, the things that are on your heart, the things that really, really light you up, and you give yourself space to let yourself just run free with it, you will be amazed at your potential, because you can absolutely do things. You really, really can. I mean, I'm still struggling, guys. Get this. I'm still struggling. I'm 3 weeks out to the day of moving to my new home, and I still cannot figure out the logistics of when should I organise the mover, like what day should they come and what day should the tradies come, and what should I do with Buddy, like should he go to babysitting for one night or would it be better if he went for 2 nights? That's all still up in the air. But I'm over here doing things that other people would never try because to them it feels complicated. It's like our brains just, we're not wired for the straightforward, for the day-to-day, for things like that, but our brains are wired for like all this other stuff. Our brains just go off in a completely different direction. And you are a change maker. You have so much potential. And I just want you to know that. And I really want to encourage you to give things a go. If you're working and I don't know, your time is sort of not available to you to, play on the computer or, stuff around for normal working hours, then maybe do the things that you need to do to get in the zone on the weekend, or maybe after hours if you're so inclined, and let yourself just run free with the ideas and do not stop. Like just brainstorm it and map it out. You've probably always, I guess, limited yourself. And I want you to know that that was probably never coming from you. I think there was really and truly a glowing ember within you. And I think if you sat down and you gave yourself a chance to really go there and really think about, what if, how would I want it to look, and what problem could it solve, and all those things. I think if you did that, that would be very energizing for you, and I think that you will blow your own socks off, let alone the socks of those around you. People around you are never going to believe the stuff that you produce. They just won't. And the reason that they won't is not because you can't do it, but because they can't do it, or they think they can't do it, right? And so therefore they just apply that thinking to you. But you're not like them. You work differently, and you can do it. Okay? So yeah, get out the pen and paper, guys, and let yourself run free, and enjoy it. Just enjoy it. And stuff the outcome. Like, who cares whether it's going to make you $1 million or not? Who cares? What I want you to do is just get used to the process of being guided by your instinct, be guided by what you feel and know. Get familiar with letting yourself imagine again, because you used to be able to do that, and you used to do it so well. I bet you used to write poetry. I bet you used to keep a diary when you were growing up. I bet you used to maybe draw or sing. I bet there was some part of you that was like super duper creative, or there was some behavior that you had that was, probably very annoying to others. And for some reason, you just learned to dial it down. I want you to dial that back up again, because I really do believe that there's so much value in that. And just like your, acceptable gifts and talents can absolutely unlock things, so too can the ones that you were taught were not acceptable. They are both valid. Unpack it, go for it, see what happens, right? See what happens. Anyway, it's just so exciting. It's just so exciting. But you don't have to make a Chrome extension. My gosh, you probably got other things. You don't even know what's in there yet. Give it a chance to sort of bubble up. And here's the thing, once you start, I guess, just letting your mind run wild with it, other things start to, come to the surface as well. Things that you never even considered before, you will see them there on the paper, and there'll be part of you that will say, oh, I could never do that. But just say, oh, well, that's what I was told to believe. But if it's on this piece of paper, it's a sign that I can. You are, for yourself, you are both the rat and the scientist experimenter. Whatever sign you put on your own cage is going to be whatever your experience is. If you put a sign on your cage saying this rat here gets overwhelmed easily and so then gets stuck and can't do anything, that's what you're going to live up to. If you put a sign on your cage that says this rat is curious, this rat colors outside of the lines, this rat is really creative and, always comes up with new things to try and doesn't limit herself, you're going to live up to that. Which one do you want to be? It's totally your choice. Which one do you want to be? I know, so much fun. Okay, I'll let you go. I just wanted to share this news with you because it felt big. It was big for me, and I just want to say thank you so much for listening. All right, have a beautiful day, everyone. Happy Thursday. Bye. And that's a wrap for this episode of the Private Practice Podcast. So as you reflect on today's insights, imagine creating real success in your private practice without going down rabbit holes or exhausting yourself with business activities that don't move the needle. With Practice Momentum, you have push of a button help available on demand. It's like having an expert in your pocket ready to guide you whenever you need it. Visit brooklynstorm.com to discover how Practice Momentum can transform your approach to building a thriving practice. I'm Dr. Brooklyn Storm, and I'll see you next time as we continue exploring the mind, business, and spirit of private practice success.